But a nice little game. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. They go play action. Fitzpatrick. And he completes it to Wilson. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half.
Here we go.
So 3 seconds here remain in the half on as the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good. Off to the right. So we come upon halftime with 9. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Flushed out right. He may try and run for this. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
Now that definitely hurts because the mindset is getting a 3 and out there, and they don't get it done. They give up the scramble and a pickup for a first down.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
From the 41. Jackson, he'll run it. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They'll go with Hill here on 1st down. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Got him in. It's Brown. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now it's Jackson dancing to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. When in doubt, do it yourself as he keeps it for 3 and a 1st down.
Someone knew exactly where he needed to get to pick up that 1st down now. I'm not so sure about the technique in getting there, but he went for it, and he got it.
Exactly. He knew where he needed to get, because remember, if he slides, when that derriere dips, if you will, that play's over.
The derriere dips, I like that one.
Yeah, been working on it for a little bit.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized.
I know he ain't got it. Titans
2nd and 9. Jackson. This will be caught by Brown. Now Brown, he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. But he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And this is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that, and that's what they've done all game long.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This fielded at the 2. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
And he'll be marked down deep on Miami's side of the field. It's a big play there for Baltimore. Give him 52 yards on the ground. And a guy that can change the game shows you a glimpse. Of it right there, taking the ball down inside the red zone.
It just tells you how tough it is for a defense. You just hold on all game and essentially hold your breath. Will they break a big one on us at any point during the game? It just happened right there.
Jackson on first down. That's into the hands of the tight end Boyle. And a good gain here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They toss to Ingram. Ingram churning. He lost the football. And the Dolphins have got it. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down.
They'll start on the ground with Balaj. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now in Baltimore. It's Dolphin football. It's also Dolphin lead to begin quarter number 4. They'll stay on the ground. Balaj again. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Kalen Balaj, 81 yards. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. And those are the highlight reel runs you dream of right there.
When he gets a seam and just gets through it, how about the explosiveness, the burst to get there to begin with, and then once he's in full gallop, good luck trying to track him down.
And those plays so demoralizing for the defense.
Absolutely, because you've done so much work trying to keep people in front of you. When they're past you and behind you, that's a tough one to swallow.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. Xavier Howard with a good coverage that time as he was there and knocked it away. To throw again on second down. Jackson. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team is playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or...
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? First and goal. Fitzpatrick now after the fumble recovery. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Albert Wilson, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here comes the Miami defense. They make their way back onto the field. They recovered the fumble last time. 3 turnovers for them in this game. They've been, that word opportunistic comes to mind, right?
Exactly right. And you know guys on defense, they say the turnovers, and offensive guys call them turnovers. We call them takeaways. We go get them. And that's exactly what they've done in this game.
The former DB making sure you know their takeaways on the defense.
Takeaways, man.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
It's going to be a long day. Be a long day. He's checking. Crash.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Check. Look at him. He's checking Craig. Check.
It's a give to the right. Ingram. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That second down run a big help as 7 yards leaves him with just a 3rd and 3 now.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Give him 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson escaping the pressure right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Slam. Echo. Check it out. Check 24.
The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this fourth quarter. So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. Check 37. Watch that. Sponge. No. Buzz. Check 55. Go. Check 55 to Mike. Hey, watch the lane.
Now Jackson throwing again. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. There's Jackson on 3rd and long. Flush to his right. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
Hey, check 24. 22, check, cover. 22, check, cover. Hey, check motion man. Put your hands on him. Get hands on motion man. Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Check, Leo.
They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They throw right away, and that's complete out on the right side. A gain of 6 there on 1st. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
No. Off.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 9 yards on the play there, and it'll set him up 1st and goal.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. 2nd and goal. From the 6 this time.
Check 48's the mic. In your face.
To an egos Fitzpatrick, and that should just about do it.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com.
Justin Tucker, the kickoff.
Justin Tucker set to boom this one away. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Go, go, go. Watch that in. Watch that in.
They'll start with a give here to Balazs. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Fitzpatrick now. Completes it to the tight end, Smythe. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line.
50 seconds.
They run it with Balazs. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad. Fitzpatrick from the gun on 3rd down. He's got a man. It's Williams. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 43. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 43. Fitzpatrick. It's Williams on the catch. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Play action now, Fitzpatrick. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a 1st down. Off the play fake here, Fitzpatrick. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete. Albert Wilson, the intended receiver there. And that'll bring up 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. On the delay, it's Balazs. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. They only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. On 3rd down, Fitzpatrick. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete. Fine work by the Baltimore defense to help bring up 4th down.
Chances are good he's going to be a very busy guy. 2 catches already in this opening drive, and they were looking his way for a 3rd.
I think they put this defense on notice that that could be a really, really frequent combination. The kick by Sanders is good. And the opening drive for the Dolphins yields 3. They moved the ball pretty well there on the opening drive. You think they're okay settling for 3?
I don't think they're happy about settling for 3, but I think you're exactly right with the word okay because they threw it well, they ran it well. Excellent balance for the first drive of the game.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 23.
We got 4. We got 4.
They'll fake the give to Ingram. Now Jackson forced out to his left. He'll try and run it. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a 1st down. Nothing after 1 on EA Sports. first down. It's Ingram, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier in this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 44-yard line. On the counter, Ingram, and he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Nice job by the defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up, D.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Vince Beagle in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Well, now it takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. Buying time to his left. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
I thought he did a pretty good job there to get back what he could, but let's face it, that sack on 2nd down, talk about throwing a wrench into the works. He certainly did.
Yeah, he did everything he could there trying to pick up some positive yardage, and he did, but not enough. On is the punter, Cook, who sends it away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But also have to remember, they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
7 yards there and a first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. It's complete to Williams. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11. A first down throw for Fitzpatrick. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Fitzpatrick throwing complete. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. Here's Fitzpatrick. On the right side open is Gesicki. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Fitzpatrick. And this is caught by Parker for a Miami touchdown. Devontae Parker there to make the grab. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, they almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Well, look at the clock here. You're inside of a minute. First half hasn't gone that well for you. How are you going to play this drive?
Well, I've been told by my coaches previously that the intelligent approach, go ahead and run out the clock and start over. Don't make any more mistakes. But there's also something to understanding that you got this last drive here. You get the ball to start the second half. Try and go 2 for 1 here. Get some points now and come out of the locker room and get more points again and get your momentum really built up.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Check right. Watching your 5.
I don't even know why this team showed up.
Check 55 to Mike. Check 55.
This time Jackson will throw it. He's got it to Ingram, complete. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line.
Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they're marching off another 15 against your squad.
55. Hey, eat.
Hey, come on, oh. Same on. Under crunch. Go. Say. Check 3. Shoot. Yeah.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. Eluding the pressure right. And this one complete to Seth Roberts. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. Now Jackson. Pass the try. Snead's got it. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half.
Pick and choose the Mike. Watch Mike. Cut. Mike 52.
Come on, boy.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown in the final seconds of the first half as they are now on the board here in the first half.
I can hear their sigh of relief all the way up here, partner. Now, they absolutely had to have that one, and they got it. Maybe it'll provide a little bit of spark heading into the half.
And help out their defense because they've really held serve, so now we got a ball game.
No doubt about it. They are right back in it and have to feel a whole lot better about themselves.
Tucker with the extra point, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. 5 plays there on that drive, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone, and not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. It's complete to Snead. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Throwing is Jackson. And this is incomplete. Fair to say, it hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying under double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off, and try and chip someone at the second level.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. And a tough ask here. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 9. Here we go on 4th down with Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Taco Charlton, and the Dolphins get the football in great field position. But being just short of midfield, they decide to take a crack at it on 4th down. They don't come through.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good, and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys. We're going to go for it. Hey, defense, you got me? A little bit of a challenge to them to see if they'll pick up the rest of the team.
Let's see how they respond now. First down, Fitzpatrick. And this is Parker, complete. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Devontae Parker, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one. And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. This will be fielded at the 8. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down, it caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they're going to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Now it's Jackson. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Now let's see how the offense still out there. They elect to go on 4th and 11. They'll indeed go for it with Jackson. Great job. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And this is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that, and that's what they've done all game long.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This one taken from the 7. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. And they've got to be still reeling from the events of a moment ago. What a turn on that last play.
You're knocking on the door. You're about to take it in. You think you're going to get some points on the board. Instead, you cough it up and watch them take it the rest of the way to the opposite end zone. That's a two-score swing that you just gave up.
And on the stop defensively, Raekwon McMillan. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. On second down, Ingram. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Jackson. Brought in left side by Snead. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. So now 1st and 10 as they crossed into Miami territory down at the 33. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Mike, 55. Right on. 55. Target, 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 target. Out, 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 out. Check 26. Kill.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Got him in. It's Brown. He got 29 yards that time. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
They'll run here with Ingram. And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Taking it in from 4 yards out, and the Ravens cut into that lead.
We got a little bit of everything on that run. Offensive line creating some space, but how about the guy running behind his pads into the end zone?
What does that mean when a guy says running behind his pads?
Means that he's going to be a physical runner. That way he's able to use his shoulder pads, his forearms, anything to ward off people and power his way forward.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throw complete, Fitzpatrick to Parker. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down. So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Fitzpatrick gets this to Parker. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. This quarterback now 15 out of 17 through the air, only 2 incompletions. It's first down. Now Balaj. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
From the 24, Fitzpatrick. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. To throw, Fitzpatrick. Completes it to the tight end, Smythe. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. Sanders' kick is good, and that will stretch the lead up to 13. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
So Lamar Jackson in the offense. Down by 13, a minute 44 to go. Field goals, useless at this point. They need 2 touchdowns, and they need them in short order.
Hey, pick your game up. Hey, check right. Watching your 5. You want this. Deuce. Switch.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson being chased out left. He's going to let it fly. This is caught at the 20. They'll take it into the end zone for the Ravens touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown, 76 yards, as his guys are back within a single score.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting, but I am excited about this. I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. They get one more as the extra point's up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, a long touchdown pass into the end zone. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And this one now not quite over yet. Still 2 timeouts remaining defensively. And, boy, having that 3rd timeout would have really helped here.
And another example of why coaches really stress saving your timeouts for when you absolutely have to have them. They go over this all the time. Here's one of those situations.
So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. And he'll give it here to his running back. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. They'll keep it on the ground. Laird, just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Here's Matt Hawk now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Returnable for Thomas. Able to spin free. So a change of possession here on the punt. And that will come the offense as they take over. And the Ravens taking the field. One possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. 5 yards on the catch there brings up second down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25.
Hey, keep it up. Check 99. Check 99. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. We got double up. Double up. Check. Fresno.
Now Jackson. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
52. Mike 52.
Here we go.
Go get him. Go get him. Hey, Mike 52. You can't block me. You can't yeah. Mike 52. Here we go, D. All day. Defense, all day. Go. 52's the trot. 52's the mic. Neil. I got one. Check.
Throwing now is Jackson. He's going to let it fly. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. So down 6, and they know they need this one on 4th down.
Motion. Rush in. 25. Check 25. Check. Crunch.
They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. Flushed out right. And he's got Snead. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore 1st down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Hey, let's get some penetration here. Hatchet. Watch twist. Switch. Kill.
Here's Jackson. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left.
It leads to 2nd and 10.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
I'm about to take you to school. Hey, watch the slant.
Motion.
Come on. Mike, 55. Check 55, Mike. Watch the slant. Check three. Hey,
One last shot for Jackson. Dancing to his left. Now a desperation throw deep down. That's caught inside the 20. And they're going to score. A long touchdown. No flags. No time remaining. And they're an extra point away from winning the game.
And the celebration is now just an extra point away from being full on. Think about those who may have left the stadium a little bit early thinking their guys might not get this done. Oh, it got done, and in a big way.
No time on the clock. This to claim victory. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. No time on the clock. This to claim victory. And he has got it. And to borrow a baseball expression, they're going to walk off a winner. Well, this was a game we'll have in the memory banks for a while. The winning touchdown at the end, and then they had to get that extra point. You know, the knees were shaking, but he put it through, and boom, a dramatic victory.
And just remember, prior to 2015, that extra point almost felt routine, didn't it? Like it was a fait accompli. But when we moved it back to the 15, now the drama kicked in. So, yes, a touchdown, extremely important. Obviously, they had to have it. That was huge. But that was not a gimme, and he knocked it through the post.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.